Yeah, so I think markets are on edge at this point, Dan. I mean, what you're seeing is global markets contracting with a viewpoint of, liquidity in the system is obviously tight. Banks are on the run, of course, and collapsing to some extent. But I think, as you go into the new day, you're going to see a lot more volatility. You're probably going to see a lot more volatility for, honestly, the next several months as all this plays out. The key question is, is there a demise of Credit Suisse? Is there a demise of other institutions? Are there going to be massive capital raises? So, if you step back, I think one thing you always need to consider is, how are banks insulated from this? Most big banks are, of course, especially in the U.S. and even some in Europe. And I think that's going to hold, that's going to hold true as you go forward, where that's going to be the safe harbor.
Just for the avoidance of any doubt, is there a risk of a European bank run today?
I don't know if there's going to be a European bank run. I just think there's going to be a number of depositors, investors that are just going to get extremely worried about the current state of affairs. Realistically, again, they should have faith in the systems. I think where they don't have faith, honestly, is when you look at central banks and what they've structured in the past 12, 13 years since the great financial crisis. So the good news is a lot of these banks, again, have increased their capital, are actually seeing better NIMs as far as their margins. The bad news is we're seeing very select institutions that have made some really bad bets over the years. And some, honestly, that are more like zombie banks, similar to Credit Suisse, where their business structure and their business strategy has been flawed. So, you have really a mix of different entities today. Again, I think there's some that are good. They're going to end up being a buying opportunity. And I think there's some that are going to end up being forced mergers, forced capital raises. And that's the concern today by investors.